Hey, it's me, your friendly neighborhood crypto nerd. And guess what? Today, my friend Joe dropped by. He's from HomeJab, and we're going to talk about NFTs. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to see what else flies off the shelves. So stay tuned for another episode with your crypto nerd. There we go, Joe. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by today. Man, it's a little early for both of us. I hope you've got your coffee. I've got mine. And
yeah, I'm all
we're going
set.
to talk about real estate. All right, good. We're going to jump right in and we're going to talk about NFTs and real estate, which is one of my favorite topics. We've seen a few houses sell in the US as NFTs, made national headlines. I'm in the real estate industry by trade, and I know that you've been doing photography. HomeJab has traditionally been a photography company. When people go to sell their house, they want it to look good, so they have virtual tours and they have photographs done. But you've transitioned recently into NFTs. We're gonna jump into all of that. Before we do that, though, maybe my audience might not know about HomeJab because it's more in the lines of traditional real estate. Any real estate agents out there are probably familiar with you. But you want to give us just a brief background of what HomeJab is, how you got into it, and then how did you find blockchain?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Monty. I appreciate that. So HomeJab started about 10 years ago, and it's this need to make it super easy, simple for real estate professionals to order just photography, but like higher end media, like virtual tours and videos, like you said. So like before we started, like walkthrough videos, kind of a rare thing. People would actually take photos and just sort of like put them into a slideshow, and they would call that a video. So like that's what we were coming into when we first started, and we're like, let's make it really easy for people to make professional walkthrough videos. And the purpose was, we want to be able to make the process of buying a house more efficient. So show the buyer more than just photos, more than just a slideshow. Show them like immersive sort of media. So we did the walkthroughs, and we got into drones when they became popular, and then we got into 360 cameras and 3Ds and floor plans. So we do photography, but pretty much everything else as well. Anything you need in order to market your listing, you go to HomeJab, and it's sort of like an on-demand platform. You put in the time you want, kind of like Uber. You get confirmation within seconds. Once the shoot's done, we'll edit everything and deliver it back to you the next morning. So it's a very fast, efficient sort of assembly line for high quality media.
Good. Now the transition there from taking photographs to converting those photographs to NFTs, that was the first step for you, I believe, right? How did that come about?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe like a year and a half ago, I started, sort of designing out what this potentially would look like. And, we have over 1,500 photographers that are signed up to HomeJab. So the first step was really just reaching out to our network and saying, who's really interested in NFTs and blockchain. And we got a group, a small group, but about 100, 150 photographers that were like, I'm very interested in this. Let's do something. And so these were the early adopters that we used to build out the initial edition of our NFT marketplace, which is essentially a stock photo marketplace. So, city skylines, historical landmarks, recreational areas, things that you'd find on like a Shutterstock or a Getty. We created an NFT marketplace. Our photographers, created these NFTs for the purposes of real estate to agents, but also anyone who's looking for stock imagery.
So if I was marketing a second home in Philadelphia and, I thought I might get some like out of state buyers or something like that, I could put up, some pictures of the brotherly love or, some stock photos of something along those lines. And just to show like, hey, what's in the area? Would that be appropriate? Is that how they would use those?
Yeah. I mean, ever since we started HomeJab, like people, we go out and do the listing photos, but then our customers, the agents, would ask us, do you have any stock images of like the area? Do you have any images of the city and the towns of where these properties are? And we typically say, no, we have to just go out and shoot it for you. But now, like we have sort of this other sort of alternative where you can go and search for the images you want and purchase them as NFTs. But I mean, the real reason, because we have, I think, around 650 images, and Shutterstock has 6 million images. The real
Yeah,
purpose of this was
drop in
just
the bucket.
we wanted to create and build something on the blockchain. That was the real purpose, and just kind of get our feet wet, because the real, I think, thing that we want to get moving towards is creating NFTs of actual houses that are for sale, and then market those NFTs.
Interesting. Okay, so you've got 600 some odd photographs, stock images currently. And did you build a marketplace for these? How are people buying these? Are they going to a third party?
Yeah, you just go to our website. You know, you go to HomeJab.com and you can order a shoot, or you can go to our NFT marketplace and explore all of the existing listings.
I think we've got that here. Let's see if we can pull that up here. Okay, here is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, this is the real marketplace, and this is the marketplace page. So we kind of designed it like a real estate search site, like the
Yeah,
Zillow or Realtor.com, where you have the map on one side, and then you have the listing. So if specific area, you can search that city by keyword. You can search by price, but you can also just it's interactive. You just zoom right into the map, and then the images on the right side will update, and then you can just kind of scroll through and see the images that you want. So it's really easy to use. People are kind of used to this interface, and it's like a real estate search site.
got it. Okay, so let's look at one of these. So this what is that? Frederick Spires? What was that? Or the Biltmore? All right, so let's click on the Biltmore. Let's see what that pulls up. That's 11. You built this on Binance, I think, right? Is that what I'm seeing there? The Binance stable coin there. Okay.
Yeah, you can list the images on Binance or Polygon.
Got it. Okay. So this is the Providence skyline here. It's essentially $11. So somebody buys this, and just as a test, they could post this in all of their regional, or if they were a regional agent, they could just put that on their website, and there's no limits on commercial use that way.
Exactly, they have full usage rights. So, like, if they were to purchase this particular image for 11 BUSD, then they would be able to download a high-res version of that image, and then they can use it, on their website, or any sort of marketing, Facebook ads, stuff like that.
Okay, got it. Now, I mean, that's a great introductory kind of NFT series, jumping from $11 to $511 is a pretty big jump, right? So walk me through the steps to go from selling a picture to selling a house.
Well, this is sort of
there's a lot of steps there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons we built this in the first place, is we wanted to get to the point where we can create NFTs out of houses, and that's ultimately the vision of what this project is about. So we want basically all homeowners to own the digital twin of their house on the blockchain as an NFT. So video, floor plan, virtual tour. If you own that NFT, then you can use it potentially for a crypto mortgage, or getting a home equity line, or selling equity in your house, or there's so many different things that I think you can use it on the blockchain in a DeFi sort of product. But it all starts by owning that NFT of the house. So the way that we sort of envision this is we'll go out to the house to do a photo shoot. We'll do the floor plan, the virtual tour, and then we'll verify. The ownership will actually take a photograph of your driver's license, and then we'll match that up with what's on the public record on title. Make sure that just verify ownership there, and then create that NFT, mint it, and transfer it to the homeowner. Another way to go is we work with thousands and thousands of real estate agents, is to do it at the time of sale. So if a house is for sale, we would go in, since we're already in the house, doing a photo shoot, doing the virtual tour and floor plan and everything, for just regular marketing purposes on the MLS. We would take that same content, create an NFT of it, and put that NFT up for sale on our marketplace. So in addition to marketing the house on all the traditional methods, MLS, Zillow, for sale sign, in addition to that, you'd have this NFT that then you can market to the crypto community. So it's just sort of another way to market a house, and then that buyer could come in, purchase the NFT, and then that would not transfer title, obviously, but it would. The way that we're thinking about it is that it would provide an option to purchase that property. So you purchase the NFT, gives you a exclusive option or right to move forward with the transaction, and then the funds from that purchase go to an actual title company, and then they'll move forward with an actual closing.
Got it. I could see some kind of a scenario where you go in, you take pictures, you verify ownership. The NFT gets given ownership to the property homeowner, and they put that up on the marketplace, and then that becomes like the bidding mechanism, and they're bidding for the down payment essentially for the property. And so because the owner of the home, they paid for the NFT, they paid for HomeJab services, come out, take the pictures, and the NFT sort of came with that. And then you put the pictures out there, and they bid, $40,000, which may be, 10% down or something, whatever it is. And that's their earnest money. And, I could see somewhere along the lines where that becomes an official part of the regular process in the future. You may be onto something here where, instead of, this weird kind of behind closed doors with real estate agents where, not all those offers are public, which is, it's a very anti-transparent. It's very, dark. I don't know what all the other offers are. When you're making those bids, it's a blind service, right? And this would make it very public. You may not know what everybody else's bid, but you'll see what the top bidding price is. And that would be, I don't know, that could spur, FOMO and, real estate. It could get some property owners higher prices than they would have gotten otherwise. Hard to say, but it's really interesting. Who else has reached out to you about interest for this? And target market growth is pretty substantial here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the early innings. It's the beginning of this project. We have our list of several hundred people that are interested in kind of this sort of method, and I've had I'd say around 10, 15 meetings. We're trying to get a handful of listings up on the site, this spring and summer to kind of get things moving. So we're sort of on pace for that. But yeah, it's sort of an application of NFTs and blockchain that just sort of makes sense to a lot of people. It's like here's this real world asset, and everything is sort of like you said. It's kind of secretive. It's not super transparent.
Yeah.
When you submit an offer, does that even get to the seller, or is the offer from that agent's friend or something? Is it like, I mean, it's not super transparent, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, it's sort of, if you buy, or if you put an offer this way and you buy the NFT, I mean, it's like a very strong offer. It's like, here's the money, I already purchased the NFT, everything's there in escrow. You can do it quickly, so it's a very aggressive, like, strong way to make a move and purchase a property.
Yeah. So integration. Let's shoot forward 10 years. I mean, is this going to replace title companies? I mean, are title companies, are they going to be just NFT peddlers? They're just going to be verifying identities. They're just going to manage KYC, and everything's going to be recorded on the blockchain. I mean, real talk. I mean, are we going to get there someday? I don't know.
It's a good question. Title companies, they do a lot of stuff. I mean, these transactions get pretty complicated when people owe money and there's liens against the property, and then there's utility bills that haven't been paid, and there's like there's taxes in escrow. There's a lot of money moving around on these real estate transactions. So I think you definitely need someone sort of making sure that everyone's getting paid, and that all you're getting clear title and all of that. I do think that we're going to need some sort of escrow system and title agency in the mix here. But what this does is really, it makes it very transparent and public, the ownership of the property. And so if you were to, purchase the NFT, and then now I think what is probably more likely in the next few years is that, you can tie in that NFT to the ownership of your property, and then move forward with like a financial product, like a DeFi product, like a home equity line, or like a refinance of your mortgage, or selling your equity of your house, in the crypto market on the blockchain. And I think that's kind of the direction I think we're going here. Is like, it's more about like just verifying ownership quickly. You don't have to do a full title report every time you want to take out a loan on your property. It's just sort of, you own the NFT, and then you can move quickly and get the loan you need. So I think that's one of the main applications. But you can see how like blockchain is a disruptor in some sense to the title industry, because you're going to see all the ownership records. It's all right there. However, it is nice, I think, when you're dealing with such large assets like real estate, that in addition to being on the blockchain, we also continue to record deeds, with government, in the local
parallel.
Yeah. I think we can do both, and so it's nice to have both, and I don't think we'll ever maybe get away from that. But this is, decentralized public ledger here is sort of.
Got it. Okay, title companies, you can take a sigh of relief. We're not going to put you out of business just yet.
I think they should adopt it. I mean, I think it's the new generation of title companies, would do all the things they're doing now, but they would also record these transactions, on the blockchain. And, I think that's the direction things are moving, hopefully.
Okay. So let me ask you, NFT integration into a home selling process. Who's gonna be your main advocate for this? Are real estate agents going to advocate for this because it's easier for them, because they think they can get higher prices, or because they think it differentiates for them? Is it going to be you, or is it going to be the lender? Who's going to be the real advocate for this that really gets it out there?
Well, I mean, in today's market, everything starts with the real estate agent. That's the source of most of the deals. I mean, we work with over 10,000 real estate agents every year, photographing properties for them. And that's what kind of puts us in a position to kind of move forward with this project very quickly, is that we're already working with these listing agents at scale. So we're doing thousands of these shoots every month. We have over 1,500 photographers already tied into our platform, receiving jobs on their mobile app, can go out and shoot these properties very quickly with a 24-hour turnaround time. So like, we have these relationships with all these top listing agents. And so, in today's market, the deal starts with the real estate agent. So we're working directly with them to do their photo shoots, which we're already doing, but then also saying like, hey, there's this other market here, there's this other way to market your property, and we can get it up on the blockchain, mint the NFT, and transfer it to your wallet, and then if anyone, we'll help you market it to the crypto community, and see what happens. It's sort of like an extra thing that they can do to help market the property. It's not the only thing, and but there's a lot of for sale by owner people out there too, and we talk to them as well. And I think that's a growing market. But the vast majority of deals start with the real estate agent. So those are our initial customers.
Is it an education process? Or a lot of real estate agents, skeptical of this? They might have seen, NFTs, splash in the news, and then they hear about NFT, scams or something like that. Is there may be some negative connotation there? Is that something you have to combat when you talk about this?
Oh, 100%, and that's the biggest headwind by far. I mean, a friend of mine was at a real estate conference just a couple of weeks ago, and they had a speaker there who was talking about NFTs and block, and it was like, everyone raise their hand if you have, your crypto wallet set up and ready to go. And maybe 2% of the people raised their hand. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. However, that speaker was sort of the one that got the most chatter. It was the most interest. It was like, so there's nothing happening right now in the real estate industry when it comes to, or very, very little, but there does seem to be this sort of, chatter and talk about like, well, what can it become? So it's like, it is an industry that when people talk about blockchain, you tend to sort of mention real estate also. And, real estate agents are sort of financial people, and they're not always the most tech savvy, but, again, the new generation, the new real estate agents that are coming you know, to the market, they're all, you know, highly technical and financial, and I think it could, you know, potentially work. But today, no, there's not a ton of activity. You know, as you know, there's
Yeah.
only 500,000 people, I think, in the whole world that own NFTs. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a
Pretty small percentage now.
So the idea of like listing a house in like Baltimore, Maryland, and someone who wants to buy that house is also into NFTs and crypto. I mean, you know, the chances are pretty low, but if, you know, it's all about momentum and kind of getting things easy for people to understand. So it's like, you know, we're a photography company. We're going to go and shoot your house. We're going to do a photo. We're going to verify ownership. And then we're going to mint this NFT and we'll transfer it to you. And then you can, you know, potentially use it. I think, you know, that it's a small market, but we can grow it slowly. And the fact that, yeah, there's been a lot of negativity recently in the market, but, you know, we're using this for the purposes of tracking real world assets that people know they're familiar with. It's their house. And I think it's a good application, and it's, you know, different than a lot of the applications you're seeing out there, you know, with digital art and other, I don't want to get into the negative stuff, but there's a lot of negative stuff, you know. So this is a more positive thing that people can understand. You know, it's an asset that they know, that they live in, and it's a perfect sort of application for decentralized ledger, because it's, you know, you don't want all this stuff just being in the government, or just, you know, you don't want all your loans just potentially with these big banks. You want this other alternative potentially, you know, where you know, it's recorded outside of the government in this, on the blockchain, and in addition to, you know, getting a mortgage from Bank of America, there's other options, you know, you have in the crypto world. So I think all that makes sense, and it's just, you know, getting from here to there is a pretty long journey, but it'll be a lot of fun. So we're on.
We just need we just need more like you to kind of pave the way and start. Somebody's got to be first, right? So we need those first, you know, couple of batches to go out, and then realize, okay, you know, somebody was that first speaker at you know, the conference, and you know, next time somebody hears that, it's not going to be quite as foreign to them. So the more they hear it, the more familiarity there is. Now, I think initially, let's be frank, this initial, you know, round it's a good PR move. I think for whoever is brave enough to find the right client for this, they reach out to you, they're going to get some support. They're going to get some press. You may get a national press release about a house that is sold, at least in part, via an NFT. And so for the right client, they could boost up the value significantly, and they'll draw attention from folks that maybe they wouldn't have before. And then I think what you get, the novelty factor starts to wear off. People will realize, like, oh, well, not only is this just a way to like get some extra press and some extra attention, but it actually freaking works better. Right. So once people get into that and they realize, like, okay, the cool factor wears off, then it will just be, oh, functionally, this is a better way to go. It's easier to track. The funds are instantly available. There's finality there. I can, you know, like, there's this a connotation that everything is sort of, you know, anonymous and secretive on the blockchain. But when you're dealing with something like this, traditional business wise, you want to have your public, you know, hey, this is me. I logged in. We KYC. We you know, we uploaded our driver's license. Everything you would do with a normal offer through a safe and secure portal. And, you know, somebody comes out to the house, took real pictures. There's a real company behind this, and you folks have been in business for a very long time, a decade or so, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a different. Yeah, when you look at a lot of these projects, I mean, everyone's new, and that's fine. But like, you know, we've been around for 10 years. We're one of the largest photography companies in the real estate industry. We work with a ton of agents, and so this is kind of like our game. I mean, we're out there every day. Every month we're shooting thousands of these properties. So we kind of know what we're doing here, and it just seemed like a perfect sort of thing to get into. You know, like, we're creating all these digital files, you know, all these high quality virtual tours and floor plans and imagery, and then, you know, after the sale of the house, they're just kind of like useless, like no one uses it, you know. So it's like, what else can we do with these assets, you know, and can they be used by the homeowners? Like, if the homeowner takes ownership of the images that represent their house, and it's recorded on the blockchain, what else can they do with that? You know, can they verify that they own the property, like I was saying, you know, and get into more of like a DeFi product quickly, and efficiently, as opposed to going through the whole process of, title and underwriting and all the things you have to do to get a mortgage. Is there a faster, more efficient way to tap into the equity that you have in your house? So yes, it's for the sale, and it's a lot of PR and a lot of that's all great, but it has to be like a real business here. It can't just be PR, obviously. So yeah, in the beginning, it's going to be like, hey, we're selling this house, like, awesome, like, let's do a big press release, and maybe the listing agent or the insurer of that property gets a lot of offers just based on that, but and they get a lot of attention, and that's great. We certainly want that, but in the long run, it's like we want a sustainable business model, and I think there has to be that sort of what's the problem here that we're solving, and it's not just a bunch of like let's PR schemes. It's like, we're going to use this NFT in the real world to get actual financial products done quicker and faster and more efficiently than you would with traditional banks. In addition to that, now you have a verification of ownership in a public sort of ledger, as opposed to just hidden away in some government office. So those are, I think, some of the issues that we're dealing with long term.
Yeah, I agree. The entire home buying process is like pulling teeth. And for many people, getting a mortgage is worse than going to the dentist, right? Or people have a huge amount of fear and uncertainty regarding the mortgage process and just buying a home in general, because there's so much that is not transparent. They don't know what goes into, the financing behind the scenes, the mechanisms behind that, who lends money to the banks lend money to who, and then you're dealing with the broker who, there's so many layers to it, and it just gets very convoluted very quickly.
Yeah. How much money do you think trades hands on a typical real estate transaction when you add in everyone involved, the mortgage people, the title people, the real estate agents? Like, how much money is involved in an average transaction?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, do we even want to say out loud?
Probably not, because they're all going to be mad if somebody that comes up with a more efficient process.
So you want,
Right?
I think moving towards efficiency is always a good thing, though. But I mean, another thing is, you look at Zillow and all the success that they've had. I mean, they've taken all of these like offline listings and just made it public on the internet, and it's sort of like it's just the perfect example of like Web 2.0 company. It's like the Zillow. It's like, now what's the next generation? What's the Web 3.0 version of that? I think it's more of like the homeowners themselves having ownership of these NFTs, and then using a platform to connect with real estate professionals, either mortgage people or real estate agents, to sell that NFT. So it's more of like, more of a decentralized sort of platform, as opposed to the Zillow model. It's like, throw up a bunch of listings, sell ads, and there's your company. It's like, I think the next generation is going to be more of this, potentially the homeowner, owning their house on the blockchain in this digital representation, and then being able to tap into certain financial products and professional real estate agents when it's time to sell, through owning that NFT.
Yeah, I agree. That is at the end of the tunnel. There's some version of that is slimmed down and is much more efficient. For right now, let's say there's an intrepid real estate agent out there watching right now. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you and say, hey, I've got that client right now. It's a $1.5 million deal. It's a unique home with unique owners that are, let's try this. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Probably email joe@homejab.com. So it's pretty simple, joe@homejab.com. Just send me an email, and then the first thing we can do is just set up a photo shoot. I mean, you need to get photos done anyway for the listing. So, I can set that up for you. Our company can handle that, and you can use all of those files for the MLS and all of your marketing. And then in addition to that, we'll get everything minted for you and listed on the site. And if you have a crypto wallet, we can transfer that NFT to you, and then we can help you market the property that way as well. And in addition to all the press releases and all that. So I think it will be, in the beginning stages here, it will be a great promotional tool. Will you find a buyer, for that particular house, and they'll come in and purchase the NFT? I guess the odds are pretty low, but I mean, what we'll do is end up promoting not only the property, but that particular agent or investor, who is involved in that transaction. So, it's all very positive stuff. So yeah, please reach out and we'll get you set up.
All right, there we go. Well, I hope somebody watching here reaches out here shortly. I want to see some of these transactions go through. I'm going to be watching with bated breath. Will you come back on the show after you got a few of these under your belt and talk about the process, how it went, and what went well, what went wrong, what are you going to change, and give us an update?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're here for the long run, and we'll be happy to come back and give you the progress.
All right, Joe. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today. I know that the audience is very interested in real estate transactions, NFTs, and real estate asset-backed anything with an NFT is a solid move right now. So we'll be watching, and we'll touch base here shortly. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.